Live. Are we live? All right, we're live. What's going on? It's Giants game day. Monday Night Football always feels a little more special, and it always feels a little more special when we go up against Tom Brady. You know, It's like we have history with this guy. Now, it's crazy that all these years later, it's still us versus Tom Brady, and Eli Manning's retired and everything, but it still gets me jazzed up to play Tom Brady every single time I'm here in Tampa. And I'm in the hotel room. What's going on, Justin? How you feeling?
You're undefeated. It's a big storyline. It's arguably the biggest storyline heading into this game.
If we can stay undefeated with me going into the next game, it's going to be like, okay, like it's
a thing.
Yeah, it's going to be like, all right, start update. Patrick Castro said to everyone's going to bump up their Patreon tiers, to pay for me to travel to follow the Giants around and get wins.
You and license plate guy. That would be a really good idea. Just tour with license plate guy and then just like talk. Well, I don't want to vlog it, but just like have a show. That's a good idea.
Yeah, we should do it. So Patreon people, get on it. So I'm feeling pumped, man. I know we're doing this a lot earlier than we usually do because I'm going to the game.
Yeah,
but I'm. And Patrick Castro's in the chat. So how about that?
Mm-hmm.
So what's going on? Andrew, Christopher, Sean, G, Brian, Baby, Super, Isa, Flex, Lopez, Lorenzo. What's going on? All right. So exciting. I feel like there's some Tampa stories I want to tell, but I don't know if I should save them for the podcast. Like how I ended up in the porter. Did you see on the Patreon Twitter the porter potty post I had?
I don't know how that happened. Give the least exciting one, the one that is least exciting.
The least exciting one. I guess there hasn't been anything that much exciting. Well, I will say me and LPG went to the Lightning game last night, and we tried to wait till last second to buy tickets, and then it's like Lightning fans show up to their games. There was no 2 tickets together left. So we got standing room only. We were just walking. It's like, let's try and find a seat. And then LPG, because he's like a superstar, runs into some people he knows, and they're like, come sit with us. And we had like great seats, and the people were like buying us food and everything. So it matters. But I'll tell the porta potty story is hilarious. So I'm going to save that one for the end of the podcast tonight.
Sure.
And it's going to be a big win. So everyone's going to be clicking in to that, so Monday podcast, we saved the good, me flipping cars over, that type of story. I guess the flat tire thing I could tell, but let's get into the Giants game. Well, we can BS a little bit at the end because I did have another flat tire. It's like
was making, I started a document today about making notes for Civil Man Radio ideas. So if you like these vibes, then it's going to be there over the off season. So.
Yeah. The Gary Myers tweet might've been the highlight of this weekend for me, where it's like, oh my God, this is the best tweet I've ever seen in my life. All right, but let's talk about this game. Andrew Thomas should be playing. Saquon Barkley is going to be playing. The Giants are getting healthy. They're missing Logan Ryan, which does suck. But if you told me, the last game we didn't have Saquon, we didn't have Andrew Thomas, we had Logan Ryan. If you told me I could trade Logan Ryan to have those two guys, I'll take that trade. Now we didn't really talk about it on the preview pod, so I guess that's what we could talk about, the Giants without Logan Ryan. How do you see them attacking it? Because it's like McKinney's been a free safety. Love hasn't been used in like that. I guess McKinney. I guess free safety is not even a term anymore, but as a deep safety. So I guess you kind of have your 2 deep safeties in Love and McKinney. McKinney will stay in his role, but Love, I think, will be the guy who comes down, he crashes down, clean up tackles. Kind of what Julian Love's role has always been, just in a much more prominent role. I think they're going to do like 0-2 safety sets. They're going to use Aaron Robinson and Darnay Holmes a lot more.
Really? You think they're going to go a lot of 0-2, like taking all safeties off the field?
No. I meant to say they're going to use like 0-3 safety.
0-3 safety.
So they what's the third safety's guy's name? Like JJ something.
Yeah, somebody that they recently just picked up. No, but we didn't even get a chance to talk about no Logan Ryan on the preview pod because I called him my Giant factor, and then it came out Friday morning. We record Thursday nights, and then it came out Friday morning that he has COVID. So good for me. Yeah, I guess Logan Ryan is going to be a Giant factor. I felt like a million years ago. This whole bye week has felt like a bye month, and even just getting to Monday has been really, really long. It's going to be, I'm not mentally prepared to watch the offense. But anyway, the thing with Logan Ryan, I think the biggest deal will be obviously Logan Ryan could disguise coverages and he knows Brady better than a lot of other players in the National Football League when he played against them so many times, and then he played, they were teammates together. So there's that element of it, where Logan Ryan's just that veteran presence. But also, I think this is maybe most importantly, you have Blake Martinez losing him, who's like the captain of the defense on that front end, giving out those calls to the linebackers and the defensive linemen. And then you have Logan Ryan, who's like the captain of the back end with the secondary, and he's giving out the calls and he's directing traffic back there in the secondary. That's where I think it's going to be the biggest, where the communication between the secondary, I think that now is the responsibility of Xavier McKinney. So,
yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how. I don't have a lot of opinions on exactly what they're going to do to overcompensate.
I don't think they are. I don't think they're going to really do anything much different. It's just going to be Julian Love is going to be in there. Hope that none of them get hurt, because we're living in a world where you're without Julian Love or Xavier McKinney. You have somebody coming in here that we've never heard of or never really put any investment in before. So hope that they stay healthy and hope that they stay good. I simply just think it's going to be the responsibility of being that play caller is going to transfer over to McKinney. So
I do think we're going to get a big time like Aaron Robinson. I think he's going to play this game. Like, I think over 50% of the snaps, Aaron Robinson is going to play. They were working him in. Now it's after the bye week. They clearly had a big plan for him this season. I really do think this is going to be an Aaron Robinson's going to play type game. And it's Chris Godwin's probably going to work from the slot a lot, so I'll be interested to see how much they use Adoree on Godwin, or if they're putting Aaron Robinson, Darnay Holmes, throwing those guys at him. So it's going to be interesting. And we're playing the best, maybe one of the best offensive lines pass pro wise in the NFL right now, where they have the lowest sack rate in the NFL. Now, obviously, a big part of that is Tom Brady, but it's okay, you have to factor that in though. So as far as a best pass blocking team wise, because they don't get sacked, they don't get a lot of QB hits, and we don't have the passer. So it's going to be, I don't expect Ojulari and Roche to win versus their tackles, where they can win versus the Raiders tackles, they can win versus the Chiefs tackles, they can win versus the Panthers tackles. They're not going to win. So it's even this is a bigger matchup for Leo and Dex and Austin Johnson in the middle.
Yeah. O'Shane Ximines is probably going to be back, but wonder what his snap count's going to look like with his snap share. I'd be pretty frustrated if it's somewhere similar to Quincy Roche, because it's why?
I mean, he was healthy and active the last game.
He was, but that's just not how coaching staffs are stubborn, and we've talked about that with they're just reluctant to play their young guys. It's clear that Quincy Roche is a upgrade over O'Shane Ximines, yet they're probably going to play him tonight. And if he's a healthy scratch, I'm never going to root for guys to not succeed or to not play, but if he's a healthy scratch, that's a positive sign in my brain that they want to play these young guys, yet they're also going to roll Nate Solder out there at right tackle. Are you mentally prepared for that?
I wish there was more time to have the official Nate Solder starting to talk about it, because when we find out it's gonna be an hour to the game, and it's well, it's time to get ready for the game. It's
do you think that what the hell, dog? Hey, do you think the fact that they let Peart play at left tackle means since Thomas has been gone means that they now want to prioritize Peart over Solder when Thomas comes back?
It should. It's you got forced to play his hand. He surely wasn't good, these past few weeks. He's been all right, but he's been better than Nate Solder, and then when he was actually at right tackle versus Dallas, he was he had a pretty good game. Matt Peart did. Now they work around it. They do the max protect stuff. But so it would blow my mind why they would not start Matt Peart, because it's they went into this season, it would have been one thing if we went into this season okay, Nate Solder is going to be the starting right tackle and they're slow, but it's they went into this season with the plan of starting Matt Peart. So it's what has to happen for Matt Peart to actually start. So I've come to expect the worst with that situation, but it's we should be expecting Matt Peart to start, but we don't. And that's that might be the most frustrating. I think that might be the second most frustrating thing about this coaching staff after their offensive system is the Matt Peart, Nate Solder situation.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We got a did cut Nate Ebner yet question. No, he's just been hurt.
Yeah, taking her roster spot injured. And that's clearly like Joe Judge loves Nate Ebner. Like he's said as much. Beer on me at the stadium. Bobby, give him hell. Thank you, Ross Carson. Appreciate that.
Love that.
Although I got 2 beers. I'm bringing those, and I'm not drinking any more than that because it's like I can't. I drink every once in a while. One of those once in a while was last night, and every time I do drink, I remember it's like this is why I don't, because it's like I hate it. Like I just don't like it. I don't like to drink. But it's like I go 2 months without drinking, and I like convince myself like, oh yeah, it's better, it's cool, you're good, and I'm responsible. I use Ubers and stuff, but I remember it's like I don't like drinking. Like I don't like it. I used to, and back in my day, but now I just hate drinking. So I can have 2 beers is fine. After that, it's like stop. And some guy who funny enough, who was like, I actually know Gary Myers because we were with the beat reporters. He bought us tequila shots last night, and that was like, you just ruined my night. Thanks, dude. Thanks, buddy. You just ruined my night.
Green tea, little green tea shots.
So that's that. All right. Meth. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Now meth's a different story. I'll do meth all day long. Most of the times on this podcast, I am on meth. Don't clip that. That was a joke.
Nope. I think people are gonna clip it.
So, all right, hit us with some questions. What are we expecting out of DJ? I don't know what to expect with Andrew Thomas back, because it's like he was balling before Andrew Thomas went down, like balling. And not just like as Giants fans wanting him to be good, like around the league, he was starting to get respect. It's like Daniel Jones is playing really good. Like the PFFs, the film people around, the EPA, like film people, analytics people, like Daniel Jones is kind of balling right now. And then Andrew Thomas went out, and it's like Daniel Jones is just playing. He's playing all right. He's playing like an above average QB, but wasn't doing anything special. So, but this is a really good front by them, by Tampa. They very much have a style, so they're not going to throw anything crazy at DJ. But it's like this is the game where they should be able to put up passing yards. They have a very weak secondary, a great front, but I would rather play against a weak secondary than a weak front. And that's what we have tonight.
Yeah, and we see that a team that blitzes a ton. We saw it towards the early part of the season for us. A team that blitzes a ton and then plays man coverage on the back end. I mean, they can get beat. If you don't have the guys and if you don't have the dudes in the secondary that can play man coverage, the way that you beat man coverage is by a little bit of play action and then crossing routes, right? Crossing routes. Let's Engram on a crossing route. Galladay, Tony. These guys going on crossing routes over the middle of the field. And that's how you can beat this Todd Bowles defense. I mean, they have the dudes. It's no longer the personnel is not the excuse really this year at all. Even
you have your entire personnel besides Sterling Shepard, and we should be able to. We have we've been saying it the past few weeks. When you have Kenny Galladay, Sterling Shepard, and Kadarius Toney, when you have a combination of 2 of those 3 players, you have a good wide receiver core. Slayton is being the 3rd guy. Ross is the speed guy who can come in. And I think Ross benefits a ton from Kenny Galladay being on the field when they are trying to attack downfield. Ross Carson says, "Are we going to see KT's first touchdown? If I am in the stadium for Kadarius Toney's first touchdown, it's going to be insane. Like we need the Kadarius Toney Kenny Galladay touchdown today. It has to happen. Yeah. We cannot go into our 11th game of the year and being like still haven't gotten to see a touchdown out of these our 2 essentially biggest 2 of our 3 biggest investments of the season. Tony, Galladay, and Jackson. It's like we haven't even seen 2 of those guys get a touchdown yet."
We got a couple good questions. One of them is coming from Christopher. Why do you think Jones struggles in primetime games? I don't even think he struggles in primetime games.
No, I mean let's go through the primetime games. The Kansas City game, I would put that in I'll put that in not a struggle game, but a bad game because overall the game wasn't bad, but that first interception puts it in a bad game. But it wasn't like he wasn't struggling through that game. If you take away that one play, you're like, okay, good game, but that one play is important. So Thursday Night Football versus Washington, that was a good game. Last year, Monday Night Football versus the Bucs, really bad.
That was bad, yeah, and that was one of the worst games of his career. So you got one there, and then against the Eagles,
Thursday Night Football versus the Eagles, good.
That was a good game.
Monday Night Football versus the Steelers, that was a good game.
That was a good game. Besides, not throwing the ball away or
that was knowing what we know now about the Giants offense last year, is like I look back at that game like, man, that was a really good game. Like that game had us jazzed up about Daniel Jones going. Like,
yeah.
Like after week 1, we lost, but I think like most people in the fan base are like, I feel really good about DJ in year 2, though. You know, there's stuff that's got to be cleaned up. And then his rookie season, the Thursday Night Football versus the Patriots is bad.
Which,
and then Dallas.
That's a game. That Thursday football game against the Patriots is a game that I don't even consider my brain as an evaluation of Daniel Jones.
Yeah, I mean, like one of his top 3 games has been was that Washington game at the beginning of the season, you know, and that was on prime time. So
yeah,
I think it's he loses in them, and for some reason we get like, why did we have the 2 teams in the Super Bowl on Monday Night Football this year? Like, why would they put that on the schedule? That makes no sense to me.
Put it on Sunday night. You want to know when the Giants?
No, they're never going to put us on Sunday night until we're good.
You want to know when the Giants are going to score over 30 points when they put us on Sunday night, because those games are always fun, exciting. There's just something about those Sunday night football games. You know, the teams just score points, so that's when we're going to score over 30 points.
That's when they try to, and then it's like, all right, Colt McCoy is a starter. It's like you shouldn't have flex this game.
That is true.
Let's see. Dan Mullen.
There was another one.
Someone said bring Dan Mullen to the Giants as an OC, and our Gators fans can chime in a little more, but like that actually might be a good move.
Alex Anderson asked pitch count for Saquon, which it's a good question, but I don't know. I don't know if Saquon's going to get enough carries for them to do. I mean, they're gonna rotate him a Booker, but I don't even think Saquon's going to get enough carries in general for you to say, oh yeah, he was on a pitch count tonight. I think they are just going to equal. They're going to rotate him and Booker in and out, or it may not even be necessary, because I don't know how many plays the Giants' offense is even going to run.
Yeah, and Booker's like battling with an injury too.
Yeah.
But I think Saquon is going to get the majority of the running back reps. Maybe like 60-40, 70-30.
Does Ingram score a touchdown the 3rd straight game? Paul Nonis, which is it's crazy. That's a thing.
More touchdowns than last year. Receiving touchdowns, at least. Vita Vea is out. I'm almost 100% sure. Yeah, someone said about Dan Mullen, offensive scheme is the only good thing he did. Okay, how about that? Gators fans love Dan Mullen, and I guess it's just falling apart this year. I mean, last year they were really good, but then they lost Kadarius Toney, and everything went to crap.
Don't lose KT.
All right, let's see. Let's get some questions. Do you think Bright will see time tonight? Absolutely not. On special teams, he will.
Brightwell.
Which player has the best game on defense on either the Bucs or let's just stick it to the Giants. Who is like your needs to have a big game, is going to have a big game on offense or defense?
On defense, man, I feel like I need a Leo good game. I need a Leo sack.
That would help.
He sacked Brady last year, pretty sure.
Yeah, there's a good. I mean, I guess every Leonard Williams gif is the same, but it was a good gif.
I have it saved on my favorites on my camera. I will pull it up right now. It's actually right here. Let me make sure I have the brightness turned down. There you go.
There you go. Yeah, you post that one a lot, so that makes sense.
I'm gonna post it right now. It's against Brady.
Someone asked earlier, I can't see it. Drew said y'all are both goofy and corny, but other than that, I do like the channel. That's not Justin. Come on, man. I'm goofy. Justin's corny. Like I'm goofy, but I don't feel like I'm corny.
Two white dudes. I mean, two white dudes talk about football.
You're corny. I'm goofy.
I'm extremely corny. It's part of my brand.
Let's see. By the way, I need to get a hair. I'm going to get a haircut. So I would like to give a shout out to a barber in Jersey near the stadium or whatever, because I need to get a haircut. The lady who cut my hair, she sucked. It's where my brother gets his, and she just did a horrible job. So I'm going to get a haircut Friday when I get to Jersey. So let me know of places to get a haircut or if you cut hair.
Lorenzo asks a good question. Would you rather have an O-line of Thomas, Lemieux, Gates, Hernandez, and a league average right tackle with Jason Garrett as OC, or the injured offensive line we've been playing with the new offensive coordinator? That's actually a really good question.
Is Andrew Thomas part of that injured O-line?
I'm going to say no, because that would make
you're going to think I'm crazy, but I'd rather have that with Jason Garrett, because
I'm with you.
Because that O-line that we've had for the last few weeks, like it just wouldn't. It's you're asking us, like, do you want poop or pee in your face? Like, that's basically what that question is.
Rather have pee.
Yeah. Let's see.
The Giants' offense would be let's say this. The Giants' offense would be an average, which is what I said all summer. And I was right, even though we will never see it because everybody got hurt. The Giants' offense would be average if we had the majority of the line together.
Oh, yeah, they'd be like 13th to 15th, and like they'd be. I think they'd be somewhere between that 10 and 15 range.
Yeah, which is
like they were top 8 in like passing yards per game.
But that's their cap. I mean, and that's the problem, and that's why people like myself and Bobby we would still get on Jason Garrett, because average, when you spend how much money at wide receiver, when you have so much investment at quarterback, when you have what was Andrew Thomas, what overall picks, fourth overall pick in an NFL draft at left tackle. When you have all this going on the offense, when you have all this investment on the offense side of the ball, the cap in a Jason Garrett offense is average, unless you have Hall of Fame players like in Dallas, which that's not realistic for where we are right now. So
Alex makes a good point. We seem to be much better against non-mobile QBs. Thinking back to last year against Kyler Lamar, we looked lost. Thoughts? I actually do kind of agree with that, because it's some of that bend don't break defense, and the mobile guys are the guys who do break the bend don't break defense.
And they can extend plays, and
it's like if we had a pass rush, like, and I think a lot of that is the pass rush. So it's like, even with a guy like Brady, who is going to dissect you, if that coverage is like 1, 2, 2.5 good, like that messes up Tom Brady's timing, who a lot his offense, what he's good at is based off of timing. But the mobile guys like Mahomes, and it's like, all right, 1, 2, 3, all right, I'm escaping, and so people break free, or I'm able to pick up 8 yards on the ground. So that's a good point. But they've had some success against mobile. I'm trying to think of
Mahomes.
Yeah, Wilson too.
I mean, what you got to do is, easier said than done, but you got to keep them in the pocket. It's when they start improvising, and it's when they're able to expand the plays with their legs. And
that's where the interior pass rush makes more of an impact. Is what
the off-platform throws, when those guys do that. It's not just the Giants' defense can't stop, but that's any defense in the NFL has trouble stopping that.
So we get this question on every single live stream, and I shut it down, Justin. I'm like, don't expect to play him this year. I'll be honest, I'm starting to get like a little bit like, let's see Isaiah Wilson out there at guard. Like, maybe let's excel this experiment a little bit. I think I'm starting to like, what? I want to see what Isaiah Wilson looks like at the end, by the end of the season.
I don't have a desire.
I do, because like he was a good prospect, and like him moving to guard, it's like that guy, like, when we talked about him on our draft previews and stuff, it's like, hey, this guy's going to have issues in pass pro at right tackle. To start, but if he works, he'll get better. But in the run game, he moves guys. He's just, but like that. Those are the type of tackles like Eric Flowers, who when you move in the guard, it's like, okay, they're actually pretty decent guards. So I think I've been shutting down this question like crazy, where it's like, nope, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen this year. So it's a long-term experiment. And now I think I'm in on like let's get a little look at Isaiah Wilson. But
have they been putting him at? Do we probably don't even know.
He's working at guard. Yes,
he has been working at guard. Okay.
Yeah, Thomas actually said that in an interview.
Cool.
Let's see. He looked really overweight from practice photos. Yeah, but I think he's probably like lost like 20 pounds or so. It looks like since he showed up, because he showed up at like 400.
Yeah. It's going to be a big mama loot no matter what.
Yeah. He's going to look like, even when if he loses 50 pounds, he's still gonna be a big man. Will we see Aaron Robinson or Ellison Smith get more snaps? Aaron Robinson, definitely. I don't expect anything out of Ellison, to be honest. Maybe like a few spot snaps, but nothing really.
Especially if O'Shade's activated.
You got to get on TV. I'm too high up in the stadium to go on TV. Like, I'm in the part of the stadium where it's like we don't pay attention to those people.
That's my part.
He can't weigh more than Becton. Right now, he does weigh more than Becton. Actually, I think Becton's at like 350 or whatever.
Let's check it. I'm going to check it right now.
I predict we do a screenplay to Kyle Rudolph tonight. I believe that. They kind of do that. Like it seems like they do that every week. What section are I in? I think I'm in like 330.
They have him listed here as 331. That's probably like combine weight, and there's no way that's right now. No, Isaiah Wilson.
Oh. Jeez, did he really want?
And they have Mekhi Becton listed as 364. There is no way that if you just do a search for Isaiah Wilson weight, there is no way that he is 331 pounds. That is wrong.
Let's see. Do a better also. Do you see him next to Billy Price? By the way, how brutal was that to do that Billy Price post by the Giants?
Oh my God.
It's like, come on, guys.
That was a subtweet to Jason Garrett, by the way. It was. How could it not be?
I don't think anything that social media does is involved on the office. That was just mean to Billy Price. It's like, why would you do this to him?
Look, this is what happens when organizations embrace PFF, all right?
It's like he's like third in QB hits allowed by a center. Like
didn't allow a sack though.
Like top 10 in pressure. Well, he allowed one sack. Like if you look at his, I think all of his numbers are more than Nick Gates' numbers in all 16 games last year in 8 games. I am sitting. My section is 338. Wow, I freaking remember that. Row J. We're going with one of our guys who produces and stuff. Where I thought was Julian.
Oh, good. You're going with him. All right, good.
What do you all think about Darnay Holmes' regression? I think Darnay Holmes has kind of looked what he did. He almost had a real deal game-winning interception versus the Chiefs. Like we forget about that play because it got taken off the board, but that was an amazing play by Darnay. Like has Darnay been in the game and you're like, damn it, Darnay. Like the only time I remember was the Raiders in that first drive. He gave up a big pass to Hunter Renfrow on 3rd down. Which is like we know he's never going to be good in man coverage like that anyways, especially on double moves when you have all that time. Let's see. Billy Price has like 3 tackles of our own running backs. And he slides a lot too. I'm calling it Galladay and KT TDs tonight. Thank you, Bobby Broadway. God, that would be freaking beautiful, man. I want it so bad. By the way, follow Justin on Twitter at Justin Pennick. He's going to be doing the social clips. And don't forget, you got to post them on Instagram too.
Yeah.
Let's see. Greetings from Brazil. What's going on? Does Ellison Smith is not playing. All right. Let's see. We're close to 30 minutes. Let's get some final questions in, and then we'll BS for the last 10 minutes or so. Just check Twitter. See if. Did you see the video I posted on the Talking Giants Patreon Twitter account? Got me. I was cracking up laughing at it.
What video?
I would like to get it on the stream. Actually, no, we'll get demonetized up on this. I can't even play it on this because you'll get demonetized. I guess I just teased it.
I have to go find it.
It's on the Talking Giants Patreon Twitter.
Become a Talking Giants Patreon member, and then you can get. Then you can follow. We'll follow you too. But the what do you call it? The Talking Giants Patreon.
Yeah.
Bobby has been posting a lot of things on that page. Where I'm looking at it, and then I'm like, you could post this on your main page, but you're just choosing not to. Oh, but the thing with the college, the parents have to stop sending their kids to college thing.
Yeah, it was like that's a shit post. I was like, I don't want to put that on my like regular Twitter account.
I wanted to at Danny.
It's like it's not like anything bad, or I'm worried about being controversial or anything.
It's basically just a bunch of kids in it looks like a frat house singing a song. I don't even know what.
It's like the Michigan like fight song or whatever.
I was about to at Danny King and be like, "Hey, Danny King, this is our college life where we're just singing show." It was like them singing a show tune where we're singing show tunes. This is what college is like. No, no.
How many trick plays does Garrett is like a trick play caller? By the way,
they never have any success with it though.
I know, but like he calls a lot of trick plays. They have success versus Dallas because Dallas was always undisciplined last year. But like he's a trick play caller.
I'm
Like when
for
people like last year, the Tampa game, people were like, "Oh, you got creative." It's like no, it's like trick plays aren't my idea of being creative.
no.
In fact, if I'm a defense, run trick plays. Like anytime an offense tries to do something cute, now every once in a while they work and they look beautiful, but like whenever you do a trick play, I view that as a win as a defense because it's like okay, like I have to defend a Kadarius Toney pass and it's a one-man route, and we don't have high school safety, so they know to not just have their eyes stuck in the backfield and let wide receivers run past them. And reverses take so long to develop that they very rarely work in the NFL.
Yeah, put quarterbacks a wide receiver. I'm okay with that. I was about to say something
like that, like the Chiefs when they did that like Kelsey thing and on that first drive of the game in the red zone. It's like thank you, wasted play. So
sugar.
You know what I would like is just a regular Kadarius Toney handoff. Not like a jet sweep. Like you motion him into the backfield and you just run a regular read option with him with Daniel Jones. Not him and Saquon back there, which I'm sure that would be fun. But just like, hey, let's just let's give Kadarius Toney just a handoff.
You've been seeing what they've been doing with Deebo Samuel and
do that. I'm not saying go crazy with it, but do that. Let's see, Bobby. Do you have bail money for tonight when Solder starts at right tackle and you storm the field and get arrested? Should I try and get on the field?
No.
I would be on. The thing is, why don't they put it on TV? Like that guy goes to jail. Like put it on TV. Like there's no reason to not put it on TV.
The people that recorded at the stadium therefore get more noticed when they post the video because they don't show it on TV.
Yeah.
You should not get on, especially from Section 300. You should not be
Monday Night Football, baby. And I actually that would be the perfect thing to do is to like tackle Nate Solder. And I think I could tackle Nate Solder too.
If you get on the field and you get arrested, I will not be waiting for you to record tonight.
Actually, I couldn't tackle Nate Solder because Will Hernandez would probably try and lay me out. Huge fan from Dublin. Keep up the work. Go Giants. Thank you, Killian. Bobby Broadway, stop sending us money. If you want to send a question, we'll answer it. You support us enough. Shout out to Justin Stats video. Spot on with all the talk about O-line and time to throw.
Thank you, Bobby, bro. I appreciate you, man. Appreciate you.
We do appreciate you, but we don't want any more of your money. Keep your money.
No money. Hanging out.
How important are the next? I'm totally like done with Gettleman questions. He's done. And I've accepted that, barring like a total meltdown. Judge is back.
9-8. Yes.
I think. They're not going to go 9-8, but I think even if they went like,
what do you mean they're not going to go 9-8? Excuse me.
All right, they're going to go 9-8. My bad.
2 more games. You could lose 2 more games. You could lose tonight, and then you could lose either to San Diego, the Los Angeles Chargers, or Dallas, and then the rest they have to win, and they will win. Philly looks good though. Philly scares me.
Dude, LPG was that he showed me their schedule, like their next 5 games. It's like, oh my gosh,
criminal.
They probably have the easiest schedule in the NFL.
It's 2 against the Giants. It's 2 against Washington. I think there's 1 AFC team that's bad,
and it's like a really bad AFC. I think I can't remember who it is, but it's like a really bad AFC team.
Is it did they finish last?
I think it's the Jets.
Yeah, it's the Jets
because we have that one AFC game.
Yeah, the AFC East game that you play against the 3rd place, 4th place opponent, etc. And then they have the Cowboys Week 18, which they may be resting their starters.
Yeah, our guy Alejandro Gomez, Justin Bobby are awesome, great shows. Always Gomez from Playlist Wars. Go check out Playlist Wars. Thank you.
Love Playlist Wars. I won. So the whole premise of Playlist Wars is there's usually 3 people on a show, and based on a certain theme or what the topic is. So, for example, my episode it was sports anthems. So we create a playlist of 10 songs, and then each co-host, like they battle it out as to they present their playlist and why their playlist is the best. And I won my episode, and I was very honored as an outsider to come in and win that vote. I was honored. I usually don't win anything.
Winning. Let's see. Can you discuss the transition skits on the podcast? What is that?
Transition, I think on the podcast, meaning Coughlin and then Gettleman.
Oh,
then
that was just
if we have a third one.
I think it's a Parcells one.
No Parcells. It's something I usually integrate me, a player on the Giants, touch my butt or something like that.
Yeah.
Which that was in reference to
when you first started on the show, we used to do sound drops, and I hated them because Justin just made all the sound drops us, so like no one got them. It just sounded like us saying something different.
Yeah, looking back on it, I don't like it now.
Like you got to do them from like movies and stuff. Like I would be down to still do some, but they have to be like from movies and TV shows or like a song. And then I try to put some Trailer Park Boys ones in there, and it's like, no, these don't fit. It's just I'm just shoehorning my love for Trailer Park Boys in there.
We'll do it for Simple Man Radio. We'll find a way to get it in there. I got to get a roadcaster. We have to get roadcasters, both of us. So we'll do that. But after Gettleman's gone, this is something that I've thought about. Because every time I put in the Gettleman soundbite drop, when he gets inevitably fired this offseason, we have to find a second drop, and we can't play the Coughlin one again.
Parcells. We could find a Parcells one.
We'll find a Parcells one. Sure. That's a good compromise.
Oh, someone said Bill Parcells is on Manningcast? Oh, my God. I wish I could record. I wish I could record that from... Man, dude, does ESPN like load him? I really want to watch that. Bill Parcells is like, I don't talk about it much, but like he's one of my football heroes. You know, like he's one of like the before my, like I guess he was but it's like everywhere he went, he won. You know, whether it was the Cowboys, like he turned those teams like from like bad teams into like at least compete. You know, competitors. You know, the Patriots is well, obviously, you know, and obviously the Giants connection there too. I love Bill Parcells. He is. Like coaching, like my. I'm trying to. Okay, so coaches, I love. Obviously, Belichick, Coughlin, Parcells is in there. I'm trying to think of who like my Mount Rushmore would be.
Coaches that is this just Giants coach? No, it can't just
be Giants if it was just Giants coaches, I would say Fossil because I do love Fossil.
All right, so coaches in general.
Yeah, he was the coach of my childhood.
For me, Jimmy Johnson's on there. I love Jimmy.
Yeah, Johnson. I do like Jimmy. That's actually I like Jimmy.
Miami,
Johnson.
You know, you have the Miami connection, but I watched his football life and I was just like, I'm hooked. I don't care if you're a Cowboy.
What he did with Dallas is spectacular. You know, to go in there and pull off it was truly spectacular what he did.
And they haven't
Dallas.
had the same success. I know they won Super Bowls without him, but
they won one, but it was his team. You know,
it was his team, but they have not had the same success like without him and without the guys that. You know, he kind of brought in and the guys that he coached up. So,
and Jimmy Johnson talks about team building. Like he's like, I like team building more than I like coaching. You know, he's like the offseason, and that's kind of where I kind of like. It's like I love the NFL offseason. Like I love every single aspect of it. I love it's why we get so much into the draft and like free agency, and it's why. We're the only Giants podcast who doesn't just repeat the same stuff over and over in the offseason. It's like we bring up different things because I love the process of an offseason and how much goes into an NFL offseason. And we could do 2 episodes every single week for 8 months.
And we try not to live stream all that much because we don't want to repeat ourselves over and over again. Who do you want in the first round? Who do you want in the first round?
What do you think of Daniel Jones? Yeah.
What do you think of Daniel? Do you think Daniel Jones is going to be back next year? Let's see. Who else? So yeah, Parcells for me, Belichick for me. That's just a given. Coughlin, Joe Judge.
Never been off it, Tim.
Bill Walsh.
I say I don't. You know, I know Bill Walsh and what he did, but it's like I just don't have like any connect like Bill Walsh. Like he was done before I was coherent.
Read this book. Read this book, by the way, if you want to learn more about Parcells. We did a few Bleeding Blue episodes on it this past offseason. I kind of want to go back to it again. Maybe just do some excerpts and not just go in order. No Medals for Trying, Jerry Eisenberg. It was written during the 1989 season. So it wasn't like the whole nostalgia of Bill Parcells, like talking about him and the Giants and LT afterwards. It was talking about them while they were coaching and while they were playing. So it wasn't like in this, they only won 1 Super Bowl at this point too. So you really get that perspective of like what they were like as everything was kind of going down. So
damn, you're going to make me read a book.
No, you don't need to read the book. You could just listen to Bleeding Blue.
That's true. I mean, I did listen to all those. Those actually probably were my favorite Bleeding Blue episodes. Were like talking. I'll be honest, like it may not be everyone else's. Is like, people probably like when you talk about like, Eli Manning or, Super Bowls and stuff. My favorite ones were like, all right, let's read a chapter of a book and talk about it. Those actually are my favorite because I don't like reading, but I love the information that comes from books.
There you go. All right, so we'll. I got one book already planned for the.
So those are my personal favorite Bleeding Blue episodes.
There you
go. Let's see.
Do you want to see Will Hernandez back next year? I don't know where you are on this. I think you
on
know
a
where
cheap,
I am.
On like a $1 to $2 million a year deal, like 1-2 years, yeah. Like if we could get Will Hernandez back on a 2-year, $4.55 million deal, yeah, I'd take that. Like that's at the very worst, you have a competent backup.
Yeah.
I'm
just so frustrated.
He's the best offensive lineman they have when Andrew Thomas is out. I think I've kind of went back and forth on that, but it's like, you know what, Matt Skura will have a good game, but like Will Hernandez has been pretty consistent this year. Now that hasn't always been good, but like there's been some bad stunt misses, but it's like the whole O-line besides Thomas has had bad stunt misses too. So it's he's the best out of a bad group.
Yeah. It's just so infuriating that the same issues from his rookie year. I feel like he hasn't improved much from his rookie year. And that's the frustrating thing.
I'll say he hasn't improved. I think he improved a decent amount from year 1 to year 2, especially in pass pro. Because he gave like 4 or 5 sacks his rookie year, and then a second year he only gave up 1. He just didn't make that huge jump that we were expecting, and he hasn't been that difference maker in the run game that we thought he could be. I think he's been like a very just flatline, baseline type player, which is kind of frustrating. It's as a fan, you almost want it's like, I just want you to either be bad or really good. It's like when you're in the middle, that's where the conversation around you gets. That's where it's like, yeah, would I like Hernandez back? But do I also wouldn't not? If he's not back, I'm not going to be mad. It's a weird combo for a player.
Yeah.
So. All right, we're at 40 minutes. We can get rolling. But that was the most boring of the stories. I freaking popped another tire. So freaking frustrating.
You have an issue.
The thing is I drive my vehicles until the wheels come off. Like
do you get cheap tires? Because I low key, I do this with the cars that I own. Like I drove around the good part of like 2-3 counties in the state of New Jersey looking for a specific car battery when my battery died a couple weeks ago. Because I'm like, I don't want to screw around with my car. Like when I pay for something, I want to pay for it once, and then that's it. I don't want to have to pay for it until I have to pay for it the next time it comes around. So like synthetic oil, I always change when I change it. I always get the synthetic oil and stuff like that. Tires, I want to get the best tires. So is that the approach where it's just the cheap tires and then they pop or they whatever, and then you got to get new ones?
Well, it was on the car. It was the car I just bought like a month ago, so it was just the tires that were on it. But again, the tires were just old, and like when the belt starts slipping on a tire, your car starts like shaking, and it's basically like a warning, like your tire's about to go. But I was on the highway like 15 miles away from the next exit. So I was like, all right. I went, dropped my speed down to 50. And it was like, let me get to the next exit, and lost the tread. So threw the donut on there, got to the next exit, and got 2 new tires. But on my truck, I did. Well, the thing is where my office is, there is a Mexican place across the street that they sell used tires. So it would be like $15. So I would literally just go across the street and be like, all right, throw one on there. And I kind of was like, all right, I'll get new tire. So after I popped my 3rd tire on my truck, I was like, all right, let me just get 4 new ones on there. And I don't drive it around a lot anymore. So those tires will last me forever. Bob, you know nothing about cars. You know what, Bob? You know nothing about cars, Bob.
That's what I said in the chat. I just replied to him in the chat.
Very good. I bet, Bob, I bet your car knowledge is so lacking.
Bob looks like one of those guys that he's so rich that he just lets everybody else.
Yeah, he doesn't know anything about cars.
No.
It's like like my brother's a mechanic. Bob, is your brother a mechanic? I don't think so.
You also don't need to know a lot about cars to change your oil and change your brakes. Like
Bob, I do. Oh, it looks like Bob's a liar too, because he clearly doesn't know anything about cars.
You don't need to know a lot about cars to do the simple things that it takes to just take care of your car, so you don't have to pay somebody else to do it. Like I don't know a lot about cars, but I change my oil and I change my brakes.
I've learned about cars from stuff breaking.
There you go.
In the Buick for 20 years, what does being in a Buick have anything to do with cars? Buicks don't even. That's not even a car. It's called a Buick. Been in a Buick for 20 years.
He has great glasses.
So first off, it's a Buick, not a Buick. And driving a Buick, like that has nothing to do with like my grandma drove a Buick. She doesn't know anything about cars, Bob.
But the whole point of a Buick is that you never have to do anything with it. It's one of those cars that you could just run.
Yeah, that's why Bob bought that car, because he knows nothing about cars. Knows you could just drive this for a long time.
He has great glasses, though. I have to say about Bob, those are some great glasses. I'm jealous of those. He pulls them off well.
So, Bob, if you ever need some help with vehicles, let us know. Our DMs are both open on Twitter. Let us know, Bob. Let's see. We should just talk cars.
Talking cars.
Yeah. Which I could do because I know a lot about cars, unlike Bob.
Somebody has told me that we should start a NASCAR podcast.
I don't like NASCAR enough to do a NASCAR.
I know.
I like the Daytona 500. That's it. I didn't watch.
Back into
who won the championship this year?
Kyle Larson.
The poster boy for NASCAR.
Yeah, nice redemption story. Kyle Larson.
I don't know. There's some redemption stories I like. I don't know if I like Kyle Larson's that much.
Yeah. I'm gonna get back into it though. You're not gonna get back into it until they change the playoffs.
No, which means I'll never get back into it. I like Daytona, the speed weeks at Daytona. That's what I like. That's it.
I'm gonna do that eventually. I want to do the speed weeks, and I want to come down for a whole week. And I've never been to a Daytona 500. I'm in Talladega, Martinsville, Bristol, Darlington. Have been to Charlotte. I want to do the Charlotte week where they do like the All-Star race and then the 600. I may do that this year. That's like in the month of May, and I think that comes after. Well, it's Memorial Day.
It's Memorial Day weekend, and that's the day of the Indy 500. That I watched those two races too. I watched the Indy 500 and then the 600.
So that comes after all of our draft stuff. So I may do that, and I may drive down with my buddy.
I would like to go to a Bristol race eventually.
Bristol's fun. The short tracks are fun, no matter what car or anything. But they're going to change the cars next year, so I'm going to get back into it.
Bristol was a lot more fun when you could only run on the inside, and then it's like, let's get it to where we can.
They're trying to change that. I think they're trying to change that.
Let's get back to that.
Oh, we're getting some.
What?
We're getting some comments in the chat.
About what? Oh, the LGB one.
Yeah. Do the Giants keep their?
I saw someone wearing a shirt that said that actually at the Lightning game.
Do the Giants keep their turnover rate pace going on defense? I'm going to say yes. Tom Brady throws an interception tonight.
I don't think Brady threw an interception last year. There was a fumble. There was a running back caught it and fumbled it last year.
I'd love an Adoree interception.
Yeah, that would be nice. Like kind of just like let's get the interception stat in there, and then we can stop saying that he drops interceptions. Which I mean, he does drop a lot of interceptions.
Which, because he drops interceptions, that means that he's a bad player, which is not true.
Bob said to stick to football. We would love to, but you don't know shit about cars. So sometimes we have to get out of our lane a little bit, Bob, because you don't know anything about cars. So we can't stick to football.
I actually love when people tell us to stick to football, because then that means that you are admitting that we are good at the thing that we mainly do, which I will take that. I will take that. It's like when
I actually agree with this one. Says stop talking about NASCAR for a New York football team. Like I actually agree with that. Like we shouldn't be talking about NASCAR.
It's a live stream, and it's a part of my life that I care about.
Let's see. CRJ says Bob has been in the Buick business for 20 years. No, CJR. It's Bob has been in a Buick for 20 years. And this is the last 10 minutes. So we kind of like we have a policy with Talking Giants, especially on the podcast. It's like, hey, we're gonna talk about football for whatever. We're gonna start the show. We're not gonna BS at the start, but the last 10 minutes, it's like we're gonna talk about whatever we want.
That's true.
So All right, let's go. Let's go. We're at 50 minutes, so if people want to watch this post us doing it live, they can look a little more digestible for them. All right, if you're going to be at the game, I think L16 is where people told me to be.
You know what's funny? That's where we may be next weekend. L16.
Hell yeah, baby. Hell, I thought that looked familiar.
Yeah.
But it's like the coastline, like Florida coast Giants fans or something. So I'll be there. So hopefully to see you there, Bob. If you want to come in and show me your Buick, I'll be happy to work on it. If you can show up, just buy me a beer and I will give you any car knowledge you want, Bob. All right, appreciate you guys. We'll see you. Oh, I forget. We always promote on this. After the game, probably about an hour after the game, which I kind of hate doing post game podcasts when I'm there because I don't digest it as well.
Oh, I do.
Probably about an hour 15 after the game, we'll be live on patreon.com/talkinggiants for the podcast. If you don't want to go there because there's no pressure, it'll be out on YouTube at 8 a.m. and the podcast apps at like 5 a.m. or whatever. And I've been up at 4 or 5 in the morning sometimes doing the Oiler reports, and I kind of like I like going to the Twitter timeline and seeing like, okay, these are my people who are awake right now. Like sometimes I'll just throw out like a "Let's Go Giants" tweet at like 4:35 in the morning just to see like, hey, who's up with me, fam? All right, see you guys. Fuck you, Bob. See you after the game. Just kidding, Bob. I'm kidding about the FU. We're just having fun. Just because you don't know anything about cars doesn't mean I don't like you. I actually do like Bob. I hope Bob is in the next stream. See you guys.